en welkom bij een andere sessie van Let's Speak Dutch met Lovisa. This is a show whereby we learn how to speak the Dutch language, but also how to have conversations in Dutch and how to, for example, also apply for a volunteer's job in Dutch. So, I hope that everyone has gotten their pen and their paper ready. Ik hoop dat iedereen zijn pen en papier heeft gepakt en weer gaat luisteren naar de andere sessie van Let's Speak Dutch met Lovisa. Zoals we altijd doen, gaan we eerst herhalen wat wij vorige week hebben geleerd en daarna gaan we natuurlijk iets nieuws leren deze week. Deze week gaan wij leren wanneer een winkel of wanneer iets open is. Dus hoe je zegt van 's ochtends, middags en 's avonds. Maar ook de klinkers, so the vowels in Dutch. We're going to learn that as well. And how to say some things. And we're going to learn verbs as well. So when you see a G, you pronounce it not as a G but as a G. When you see a K, you don't pronounce it as a K but as a K. So we're going to learn the difference between a G and a K and an and an unk. So stay tuned, get your pen and paper ready, and we will be right back. Yes, nogmaals een hele goede dag en welkom bij een andere sessie van Let's Speak Dutch met Lovisa. Vorige week hebben wij heel veel dingen geleerd. Last week we learned a lot of stuff. So if you weren't able to watch us last week, let's just repeat a bit of some of the things that we learned last week. Last week we learned how to fill out a form if you're applying for a volunteer's job by filling out your naam, je voornaam en je achternaam, je geboortedatum, je woonplaats, je postcode, maar ook je geboorteplaats, je e-mailadres, je telefoonnummer en of je een man of een vrouw bent. Dit zijn allemaal dingen die wij vorige week hebben geleerd. These are all things that we learned last week. Last week too, I asked if someone knows what the word toevoegingen, what that means. If you say toevoegingen, what does that mean? Mostly when you have to write down your address. Dus wanneer je adres moet opschrijven, bijvoorbeeld je schrijft je straatnaam op, je schrijft je huisnummer op en dan staat er toevoegingen. So what does toevoegingen means? So if you know, kindly leave it in the comment section, or you can also call us on 0317073705007 0317073705007. The word toevoegingen, what does it mean? So we learn how to apply for a volunteer's job. How you can go online, dus hoe je online voor vrijwilligerswerk kan zoeken. Maar ook hoe je via vrienden, hoe je via de school van je kind, maar ook via de kerk of een moskee of gewoon via je werk aan vrijwilligerswerk kan komen. So the different places where you can apply for a volunteer's job, we learned all of that. We also learned how to count from 1 to 100. We learn how to count from 1 to 100. We hebben geleerd hoe je moet tellen van 1 tot 100. En we hebben ook geleerd dat in het Nederlands, op het moment dat je 21, so when you're counting from 21, you turn it and it's 1 and 20 instead of 21. Dus 21, 31, 41 en zo voort. We hebben ook geleerd hoe je moet vragen hoe laat het is. So we learned how to ask what time it is. What time is it? So it is 11:10, which means it's 10 minutes past 11. Het is 11:30, which means it's 11:30. So we learned that if the clock is around, like every clock is, from 0 to 6, which is from 0 to 30 minutes, is over. And then from 30 minutes to the hour is 4. Dus van 0 tot 6 of van 0 tot 30 zeg je het is over het uur. En van 30 tot weer 0 of 60 is voor het uur. So for example, 11:45 is kwart voor 12. So after the 30, you jump to the next hour. So if it's 11:30, you don't say it is 11:30, but you say it is 11:30, 30 minutes to 12. We also learned how to say when, or how to ask when someone's birthday is. Dus wanneer ben jij jarig? Wanneer ben jij jarig? Wanneer ben jij jarig? En dan zeg je, ik ben jarig op zo en zo en zo datum. And with the datums, a few weeks ago, we learned the month of the year. We're going to repeat it again today. And we also learned the days of the week. We're going to repeat that one as well today, just to refresh our memories. So how do you ask for time? How do you ask for time? You ask for time by, well, it depends on who is in front of you, whether een meneer or een mevrouw. So you approach the person, je gaat naar diegene toe en je zegt, pardon meneer or pardon mevrouw, weet u hoe laat het is? So pardon me, madam, or pardon me, sir, do you know what time it is? Dus pardon meneer of pardon mevrouw, weet u hoe laat het is? And then the person replies, if the person has any watch or a phone on him or her, they reply by saying, for example, het is 7:30. It is 7:30. Het is 7:30. It is 7:30. And then you thank the person by saying, nou, bedankt or dank u wel. And then the person also replies by saying, graag gedaan, which means you are welcome. But if you ask the person for time and he or she doesn't have any clock or him or her, or even if someone asks you for the time and you don't have any clock or you on you, then you say, het spijt me, ik heb geen horloge om. Or het spijt me, ik heb geen telefoon bij me. That is if you don't know what time it is. Then you just simply say, het spijt me, ik heb geen horloge bij me. Or het spijt me, ik heb geen telefoon bij mij. And then the person might reply saying, nou, dat is niet erg, which means that is no problem at all. So these are ways to ask for what time it is, but also ask for someone's birthday. Wanneer ben jij of wanneer bent u jarig? And then they can reply by saying, nou, ik ben op 24 augustus jarig, for example. So we also learned some vowels, which is the and the I, and the I. How it sounds a bit similar, but can mean something totally different. For example, een pet and a pit. A pet is a cap that you put on your head, and a pit is a seed in a fruit. So a pet and a pit, it sounds a bit similar, but it means something totally different. Een bel en een bil, een schep en een schip, een lek en een lik, een wet en wit. So wet is the law, but wit is the color white. So words that sound very similar but mean something totally different. We also learned the difference between the I and the E. So vis and vis. So I is written with IE. So when you see a word and there's an IE inside, then you pronounce it as I. So vis, which means dirty, and vis is just a fish. Zit is to sit, maar ziet is to see. So these are all some of the things that we learned last week. We also learned one more thing, which is asking someone how old he or she is. So you can ask by saying, hoe oud ben jij? Or hoe oud bent u? Depending on the person that you have in front of you. With the jij and the u, as we have repeatedly said, if it's someone of your own age or an informal conversation, then you can say jij. But if it's someone older than you or in a formal conversation, you say u. So hoe oud ben jij? Or hoe oud bent u? And then they reply by saying, ik ben 35 jaar oud. I am 35 years old. Or whatever the age of the person is. So with the numbers that we learned last week, you can then tell how old you are to someone. You can even ask someone how old he or she is. So now let's go on to today's learning. So, like I said, today we're going to learn some new things as well, including the months of the year and the days of the week. So let's start with January. So January is January, February is February, March is Maart, April is April, May is May, June is Juni, July is Juli, August is Augustus, September is September, October is October, November is November, and December is December. So you can see that the last 4 months sound very similar to English. I think even overall the months sound very similar to English. So it won't be that hard to learn it. So you have January, February, Maart, April, Mei, Juni, Juli, Augustus, September, October, November, and December. Now let's go on to the 4 seasons that we have in a year. Abroad, there are 4 seasons. I know in other countries there are less than 4 seasons. Sometimes it's mostly hot. In some countries too, it's dry. In others, it's rainy. But here in the Netherlands, we have 4 seasons in a year. So what are the 4 seasons that we have in a year? You have lente, which is spring, zomer, which is summer, herfst, which is autumn, and then winter, which is winter. So you have lente, zomer, herfst, and winter. At this moment, we are in herfst. Right now, we are in herfst, and then in December, we will jump to winter. So every season, elk seizoen duurt 3 maanden. Every season takes 3 months. So the 4 seasons that we have are lente, zomer, herfst, and winter. Lente, zomer, herfst, and winter. So those are the 4 seasons that we have in the Netherlands. So let's go back to the months of the year. January, February, Maart, April, Mei, Juni, Juli, Augustus, September, Oktober, November en December. Dus mijn vraag aan jou is: in welke maand ben jij geboren? In welke maand ben jij geboren? So in which month are you born? In welke maand ben jij geboren? Ben je in januari geboren? In februari? In maart? So laat mij weten in welke maand jij bent geboren, door dat in de comment sectie beneden te zetten. In welke maand ben jij geboren? Or in welk seizoen ben jij geboren? So in which season are you born? Ik ben in de zomer geboren. I am born in the summer. Dus in welk seizoen ben jij geboren? So let's go on to learn about the vowels that we have in the Dutch language. There are some letters that are in almost every word that we have in the Dutch language, and these vowels are the a, the e, the i, the o, and the e. Dus de a, de e, de i, the o, and the e. So these are letters that you find in almost every Dutch word. Not all of them at the same time, of course, but at least you'll find an A, an E, an I, an O, or a U in every Dutch word that you come across. Dus A is the A, E is the E, I is the I, O is the O, and U is the U. Dus A, E, I, O, U. Those are the vowels that we have or that are in the Netherlands language, the Dutch language. So last week we learned the difference between the E and the E. And this time we're going to use other words and learn something else. And what we're going to learn this week is the U and the U. So the U is with two U, U, and the U is O-E. The U and the U. I know for a lot of foreigners it sounds pretty much the same, but it is not the same. The spelling is not the same, the pronunciation is not the same, and the meaning of the word is not the same either. So the U is 2U and the U is O-E. The U and the U. So what are some of the words that you can say with the U and the U, and what does it mean? So you have vuur, vuur, which is fire, and voer, voer is food. See, it sounds a bit similar, but it means something totally different. In the spelling too, if you say the spelling, you see that there are differences as well. But if maybe someone is pronouncing it and doesn't pronounce it right, then you might interpret as something else than what the person actually means. So vuur is fire and voer is food. You have ook muur, which is a wall, and moer, which is one of those screws. It's a screw. So a moer is a screw and a muur is a wall. You have een stuur, which is a steering wheel, and you have stoer, which is someone who is being tough. So stoer is someone being tough, and stuur is a steering wheel. You have buurt, which is a neighborhood, and boert, which is someone burping. Buurt, buurt, u, and boert. Uur, which is the hour, and oer, which is ancient. So uur and oer. See, like I said, it sounds similar to each other, but they all means something totally different. So the U and the U. The U is spelled with double U, not W as in W, but U. So double U. And the U is spelled with O-E. So when you come across words with O-E, it's U. And when you come across words with U, it's U. So vuur, U, vuur, and U, voer. Those are the difference with those vowels. So let's go on to learn something about time. How to tell time. Not how to tell time as in it is 3 uur or 4 uur. No. But morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Morning, afternoon, evening, and night. So how do you say morning in Dutch? So morning is 's morgens or 's ochtends. 's morgens or 's ochtends. And afternoon is 's middags. Afternoon is 's middags. So that is why we say goedemorgen, goedemiddag. So 's ochtends or 's morgens, that's morning. 's middags is afternoon. And 's avonds is evening. So goedemorgen, goedemiddag, goedenavond. So 's morgens or 's ochtends, 's middags, and 's avonds. And you also have 's nachts. 's nachts is night. So night time is 's nachts. Night time, so let's say when it's around 12:30 or 1:30, that's when it's night time. So that is 's nachts. So 's morgens, 's middags, 's avonds, and 's nachts. 's morgens, 's middags, 's avonds, and 's nachts. So, for example, if someone asks you what is the time, then you can also answer by saying, het is 11 uur 's morgens, which means it's 11 o'clock in the morning, or it is 11 uur 's avonds, which means it's 11 o'clock in the evening. So 's morgens, 's middags, 's avonds, en 's nachts. Morning, afternoon, evening, and night. That is how you say it in Dutch. So let's move on to the days of the week. Like I said, we have already learned that a few weeks ago, but of course, there's no harm in repeating some things that we have learned to refresh our memory. So Monday is maandag, Tuesday is dinsdag, Wednesday is woensdag, Thursday is donderdag, Friday is vrijdag, Saturday is zaterdag, and Sunday is zondag. So these are the 7 days of the week, and these days are divided into weekdays and weekends. Dus je hebt doordeweekse dagen or werkdagen, workdays, en je hebt ook weekenden, which are weekends. Well, sometimes some people work on the weekends as well, so it's not just Monday to Friday that are weekdays for them, but overall Monday to Friday are weekdays, and then Saturday and Sunday are the weekends. So weekdays are doordeweekse dagen or werkdagen, and weekends are weekenden. So maandag, dinsdag, woensdag, donderdag en vrijdag are werkdagen, en zaterdag en zondag are weekenden. Dus maandag tot en met vrijdag zijn werkdagen, zaterdag en zondag zijn weekenden. So the week is about to end, een weekend. Je hebt ook natuurlijk feestdagen. So what are feestdagen? Feestdagen are holidays. So feestdagen are holidays. Holidays like Kerstmis, Christmas, Nieuwjaarsdag, which is New Year, en Pasen, which is Easter. Maar dat zijn ook allemaal feestdagen. Dus je hebt feestdagen als Kerstmis, Nieuwjaar en ook Pasen. Dat zijn allemaal feestdagen. Je hebt ook, zoals ik eerder zei, doordeweekse dagen of werkdagen. Dat zijn maandag tot en met vrijdag. En je hebt ook de weekenden. Dat zijn de zaterdag en de zondag. Dus, als iemand je vraagt, if someone asks you, which day or which days do you work? Op welke dag of op welke dagen werk jij? Then you can reply by saying, ik werk op maandag tot en met vrijdag. Or you can just literally mention all the days of the week. Ik werk op maandag, dinsdag, woensdag, donderdag en vrijdag. So to make it short, you can just say, ik werk maandag tot en met vrijdag, which means I work from Monday up until Friday. You can also say, ik werk maandag en dinsdag, which means you only work on Monday and Tuesday. Or ik werk alleen in het weekend. I only work during the weekend. This is all possible, and these are all ways that you can answer that question. Yes, so my question to you is, op welke dag werk jij? Of op welke dag werkt u? So my other question was, in welke maand bent u jarig? So in which month are you born, or is your birthday? In welke maand bent u geboren? Op welke maand bent u jarig? And now my second question is, op welke dag werk jij? Of op welke dag werkt u? So these two, you can reply your answer in the comment section down below. I know we are learning a lot, so I hope that you can all keep up with today's learning. So let's go on and learn something else. These are also pronunciations. Today we're going to learn a lot about how to pronounce some words and how it sounds similar, but it actually means something totally different. So let's move on to the letter G. The G. I think a lot of people find it difficult to pronounce the G. It really has to come from your throat. You will have to know how to do the G in order to say it well. So you have the G and the k, which is the J and the K. In English, they sound totally different, but in Dutch, there are a bit of similarities. So you have the G and the K. I think especially a lot of foreigners find it difficult to differentiate those two letters from each other, the G and the K, because it sounds a bit similar. So the G and the K, the G and the K. So we learned the U and the U, the U and the U. We've also learned the E and the I, the E and the I. And now we're going to learn the G and the K. So a word that ends with G, for example, is dag. Dag, which is day. And a word that ends with K is duck. Duck, which is not a duck, as in the duck, but it means roof, a roof of a building, that is a duck. So dag, duck, dag, duck. See how it sounds a bit similar but means something totally different. Then heb je leg and lek. Leg, lek. Leg, which is put it down, to put something down, to lie it down. Or leg, which is a leakage. Maag and maak. Maag is your tummy and maak is making something. Weeg, to weigh. Week is the week. Weeg, week. Rog, rok. Weg, wek. Zag, zak. Lig, lik. Rijg, rijk. Wieg, wiek. So these are words that all sound very, very similar in Dutch, but means something completely different. So let's go back to what we have learned and applied in sentences. So today we learned about the months of the year, So January tot en met December, and how do you apply that in a conversation? So for example, you're having a conversation with someone and you want to even ask which month it is today. So you go by asking welke maand of welke dag is het vandaag, and then they'll say for example, today is the 27th of October. Vandaag is 27 oktober 2021. Maar je kan ook vragen in welke maand zijn wij in. So in which month are we in? In which month are we? En dan zeg je in welke maand zijn wij? In welke maand zijn wij? And the person can reply by saying, or even you can reply by saying, if someone asks you, wij zijn in de maand October. We are in the month October. Wij zijn in de maand October. Also, you can ask in welke maand ben jij geboren? Like I asked you all a while ago. In welke maand ben jij geboren? Nou, ik ben geboren in de maand Augustus. So I am born in the month August. Ik ben geboren. I am geboren in de maand Augustus. I am born in the month August. You can also ask, in welke maand ben jij naar Nederland gekomen? In which month did you come to the Netherlands? In welke maand ben jij naar Nederland gekomen? Nou, ik ben in december naar Nederland gekomen. For example, I came to the Netherlands in December. So with the word month and also the months of the year, you can ask a lot of questions or have a conversation with someone on that. Also when it comes to the days of the week. Nou, op maandag werk ik bij de radio. Op dinsdag geef ik bijles. Op woensdag doe ik aan sporten. Op donderdag zit ik vaak thuis. Op vrijdag heb ik een vrijdag. En in het weekend werk ik weer bij de radio. So based on the days of the week, I can tell you exactly what my schedule is. So for example, on Monday I work on the radio. Op maandag werk ik bij de radio. On Tuesday I tutor. Op dinsdag geef ik bijles. Op woensdag doe ik dit. So that's how you can like tell someone a bit about how your schedule is going based on the days of the week. En je kan also say in het weekend ben ik lekker vrij of in het weekend werk ik. Depending on what you do on the weekend. Or in het weekend doe ik vrijwilligerswerk. In the weekend I do volunteer job. Het is 8 uur 's morgens. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. Het is 8 uur 's morgens. Het is 8 uur. You can't say 8 uur 's middags because 8 o'clock in the afternoon is not correct. Maar het is 8 uur 's morgens. Het is 1 uur 's middags. Het is 10 uur 's avonds. En het is 2 uur 's nachts. So it's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 10 o'clock in the evening. And it's 2 o'clock at night. Dus 's morgens, 's middags, 's avonds, 's nachts. Which is morning, afternoon, evening, and night. So when someone asks you for the time, you can say het is 8 uur 's avonds. Which means it is 8 o'clock in the evening. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll go on to repeating the vowels that we learned and also the difference between a g and a k, and then we'll go to the ng and the unk, the bang and the bank. We're going to learn that as well. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Nogmaals een hele goede dag iedereen. Welkom bij een andere sessie van Let's Speak Dutch met Lovisa. Elke zaterdag kan je ons live kijken via Ghana Today Radio. En ook via Facebook, via Ghana Pictures en Video's. Maar je kan ook, als je zaterdag gemist hebt, een herhaling kijken op zondag. Of luisteren op zondag. Ook via Ghana Today Radio. Helaas niet via de Facebook Live. Maar op zaterdag komen we wel live. En op zondag herhalen wij wat wij zaterdag gedaan hebben. Maar ook door de week, als u wilt kijken of wilt luisteren, dan is dat natuurlijk ook allemaal mogelijk. En wat u dan dient te doen, is naar AfroEuro.org gaan. AfroEuro.org. En dan kunt u alle sessies die wij tot nu toe hebben gedaan, kunt u allemaal terugkijken en zien wat we allemaal geleerd hebben tot nu toe. So if during the weekend you're not able to watch us or listen to us live on the radio or on Facebook, you can also go to AfroEuro.org and rewatch every session that we've done so far through the podcast or through YouTube. Because we have a YouTube channel where we save all the sessions there. So after the program, you can just go there and watch in case you missed it, or maybe some things I was going a bit too fast and would want to just slow everything down and listen to it at your own pace, which is also possible. With that, you can just go to AfroEuro.org and then type or click the link on the website. So there's a link to the podcast and there's also a link to the YouTube channel. When you go to the YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button, so every time we upload a new session, you'll be one of the first people to get noticed. Every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Dus van 1 uur 's middags tot 2 uur 's middags zijn wij live op de radio. En dan kunt u ook bellen en vragen stellen als u dat wilt. So during the live sessions, you can always call in and ask us some questions. And our telephone number is 0031 7073 70507. Dat is 0031 07073 70507. 0031 7073 7370507. Je kan ons ook een bericht sturen op onze WhatsApp. You can also send us a message on our WhatsApp. And our WhatsApp number is 0030 684 075266. Dus 0030 684 075266. Yes, so before we went on a break, I said that if we come back, or when we come back, we will learn about the ng and the nk. So the ng and the nk. We learned about the g and the k. When you put those two letters, the ng, nng together and nnk together, it's you pronounce it different. You pronounce it as ng. So bang, and unk. Bank. So bang and bank. Once again, there are a lot of words in the Dutch language that sounds similar, and especially if you're a foreigner, you're learning the language, you can get a bit confused with these words. But it's all about learning how to pronounce the vowels. If you learn how to pronounce the vowels, a lot of the words will be a lot easier for you to pronounce and to also understand. So ng is ng, so bang, and nk is nk, bank. So bang is to be scared, you're scared, but a bank is a couch or a bank. It can mean both. So a bank is a couch or a bank, as we know, where you go and deposit money, but it can also be a couch, a comfortable couch that you sit on. Ving is the past tense of catch, so I caught. Ik ving. And a vink is those little yellow birds. That is a vink. So a ving and a vink. Drink, drink. Zing, zink. So zing is to sing, and zink is to sink. So even in English, those words sound similar to each other. Sing and sink. Sing and sink. So in Dutch, it's zing and zink. The ng is pronounced as nk, and ng is pronounced as ng, and nk is pronounced as nk. So that is the difference between those two letters. When you put it together, ng, it's ng. The n alone is just the n, and the g alone is the g. When you put them together, it is ng. And then you have nk. The k alone is just the k. When you put it together, it is nk. So bank and bang. Bank and bang. So I said, when you're pronouncing that, you don't really finish the word completely. This it's like it's stuck somewhere in your throat. That is basically how the Dutch language is sometimes. So let's just repeat what we have learned today and then close off for the day, because sometimes if you just learn too much, it becomes a bit confusing and then you don't really remember what you have learned anymore. So we take it one step at a time. Today we learned the months of the year, Januari tot en met December. Dus laten we dat nogmaals herhalen. Let's repeat that one more time before we close. Je hebt januari, februari, maart, april, mei, juni, juli, augustus, september, October, November, and December. We also learned the days of the week. It's maandag, dinsdag, woensdag, donderdag, vrijdag, zaterdag, zondag. We hebben ook geleerd dat maandag tot met vrijdag zijn werkdagen. Zaterdag en zondag zijn weekenden. We hebben ook geleerd over feestdagen. Feestdagen are holidays like Christmas en New Year. Dus kerstmis en nieuwjaar zijn allemaal feestdagen. Mostly on these feestdagen we are all free and are enjoying an amazing time at home. Je hebt ook natuurlijk de tijden. So when do you say morning? When do you say evening? When do you say afternoon? When do you say night? Or how do you say it in Dutch? So morning is 's ochtends or 's morgens. Afternoon is 's middags. Evening is 's avonds. And night is 's nachts. Night is 's nachts. Evening is 's avonds. Afternoon is 's middags. And morning is 's ochtends or 's morgens. So if you're telling someone the time, you can say het is 8 uur 's ochtends of 's morgens. Het is 2 uur 's middags. Het is 10 uur 's avonds. Het is 1 uur 's nachts. So you can add that to indicate what time of the day it is. We also learned about the 4 seasons that we have in the Netherlands. At least here in the Netherlands, we have 4 seasons, as I already said. You have lente, which is spring, zomer, which is summer, herfst, which is autumn, and winter, which is the winter. And then my question to you is, which season are we in now? In welk seizoen zijn wij nu in? In welk seizoen zijn wij nu in? En ook, in welk seizoen ben jij geboren? So which season are we in now? Now in the month of October, which season are we in now? In welk seizoen zijn wij? En ook in welk seizoen ben jij geboren? Which season are you born in? Yes, we learned about the vowels, which is the a, the e, the I, the o, and the u. A, e, o, u. A, e, o, u. Which is the A, the E, the I, the O, and the U. Like I said, these are letters that comes in every Dutch word. Not all of them at once, of course, but in every Dutch word, you would definitely come across an A, an E, an I, or an O, or a U. And then, of course, there are some words that are very similar to each other, but then means something totally different depending on how you pronounce it. And today, the letter that we used to set those examples were the letter J and K, the G and the K, the G and the K, the G and the K. Like, it sounds a bit similar one more time, but it means something totally different if you put it in a sentence. For example, the G for dag and the K for dak. So dag and dak, dag and dak, dag and dak. If you say it very quick, it may sound like you're saying the same thing, but they are two totally different things. Dag is day and dak is a roof. Leg en lek, maag en maak, veeg en week, rog en rok, weg en weg, zag en zak, lig, lik, rijg, rijk, wieg, wik. So these are words, once again, sounds very similar to each other, but it means something totally different in Dutch. We also learned another letter, or letters, that if you put the NG and the NK together, it also sounds very different. So NG is like I said, you don't really finish it in your throat. So it's and NK is unk. So bang and bank. Bang and bank. Bang is to be scared, and bank is a sofa or a bank where you deposit money. Zong and zonk. Ving and vink. Drink and drink. Zing and zing. Once again, these are all words that sounds the same, but once again means something totally different. So it's really all about the pronunciation when it comes to Dutch words. So I hope that we've been able to learn enough for today. I hope that you had a very nice, fun, and educative time. And then next week we'll be back and learn something different again. In the meantime, just practice with everything that we have learned today. Practice it in your daily life. Try and have conversations with people. Ask them about the seasons, about the month, about what they do on the weekends, what they do on the weekdays of the werkdagen. Wat doe je allemaal door de week? try to have conversations based on everything that you have learned today. And I'll be back next week with more. Dus een hele fijne week. Gewenst iedereen een fijne zondag. Een fijne week, een fijne werkweek, een fijne weekend. En ik zie jullie weer volgende week rond dezelfde tijd. In de tussentijd laten we allemaal lekker Nederlands spreken. Let's Speak Dutch. Dit was weer een andere sessie van Let's Speak Dutch met Lovisa. En hierbij zeg ik doei!